traffic too.
Okay, I know I saw the name. I was like, I've seen the name before. I couldn't remember if it was already friends, connected, or just in the group, but I remember the name.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely.
Yeah, that's an awesome group, man. I like just being connected to people in that group has been a blessing, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the information dropped. It's like I used to tell people, I don't care if you don't plan on doing freight or not, just watch the video because something.
Yeah, you do it anyway. You know what I mean? Do it's free. Take the notes, whether you need it or not. Somebody you know could benefit from it, and then you can benefit. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, y'all ready to go ahead and jump in?
Yeah,
let's jump in. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Okay, so first, introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
Okay, so are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'll turn my camera on for a second if that makes any. I don't know. Hey y'all. So my name is Michael Douglas. I'm an entrepreneur, blockchain digital marketing consultant, online revenue acceleration coach, and what we do is help people get further and faster with less effort as a revenue acceleration coach. That's what that involves. Right now, my focus I'm in a pivot stage, right? So I've been in crypto space for about 5 or 6 years, and over the last couple of years, I saw what was going on, and actually created a business with some other partners that did not work out. So I pivoted to help the people in crypto because I saw what was going on. But as far as the marketing goes, I've been doing that for so long. It was time to focus back on my group. So the group is the Rules of Engagement Academy, and we are about to do the open enrollment tomorrow. I'm so excited. We got a lot of changes going on in the group. A lot of great people like Miss Tamara helping me out in the group, and it's amazing. Yeah. So what we do in the group is basically give you a little background. About 4 or 5 years ago. So I was locked up. I'm not sure if y'all know that. Let's go and get that out there. So I got out of prison in 2016, and I was I couldn't get a job. I was kind of like depressed, going through it, whatever, trying to get back on my feet. And before I had went to prison, it was actually when I found MLM. I joined my first MLM. So when I came home, actually when I was locked up, I got a letter from an upline, and she said that the MLM was had folded, and they found an industry called forex, and they were doing this forex thing. So I'm like, I don't know what in the world is that. Like, I know what this forex jumper. I'm locked up. I got this forex jumper on. What is forex? That's the only thing I knew about forex, right? Wow. So I made it my business to study as much as I could about any type of forex or trading industry. When I was back there. So long story short, I had a roommate when I finally got my time and went to prison. This was in the county jail. So when I got to the prison, one of my roommates was a futures trader, and he started teaching me about futures. And then I had another roommate after he got shipped, and he was the one who introduced me to crypto and Bitcoin mining. So it was like I learned about futures, forex, and crypto in prison.
Yeah, the conglomerate.
Right. Yeah, like not from the system, like just from the inmates, right? So like I tell people all the time, like I can't make this up if I tried, right? So I'm bringing all that up just to give a little background on where I'm at and how I got where I'm at now. So when I came home, I had all that information bubbling inside my head, and previously I had went to a stock seminar. So I said, well, look, I'm gonna try this forex thing because it was kind of like reminded me of stocks, made more sense. And the crypto stuff, it was like way over my head. And I felt like an alien trying to even ask people about it. I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna fall back off that. So that's how I got to where I was with the crypto business I was telling you about. So I guess we can fast forward back to the rules of engagement. What happened was when I came home, I had joined the forex MLM, trying to sign people up, but I didn't really join that to sign people up. I really wanted to learn how to trade. So I ended up joining another MLM, I think maybe in like a couple of affiliate opportunities, but nothing was working out. And what happened was back in 2018, I was blessed and fortunate enough to be on a webinar with a Facebook insider. Her name is Samantha English. She used to actually work for Zuckerberg. And she was spilling all the beans. Yeah, this is like so, and it was free too. So she basically spilled all the beans on how the algorithm worked. And that's how I got into social media engagement, like, and really dug into it. So she really piqued my interest on that webinar, gave us a lot of gems. And I just went to work. I started researching, Googling, whatever I could do. And then I found an influencer by the name of Peter Barry. And I think he had close to like 9,000 followers at the time. He was getting crazy engagement. So I inboxed him, and he actually, matter of fact, I think I commented on one of his posts, and he inboxed me or whatever, and he sent me, his course. So I took his course, and that really is what inspired the Rules of Engagement Academy. Between those two, I just kept taking course after course, class after class, webinar, whatever I could find on it, as much as I could learn and implement and then teach. So that's what happened. I started actually getting a ton of engagement, started signing people up. I think I signed up like 25, 30 people for like 2 different opportunities within like a month.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, that was like a record for me, So that's when I really I said, okay, this is really something I could help a lot of people with, because I noticed, and this was pre-pandemic, right? So this was the pandemic before the pandemic. Everybody was fussing about Facebook and getting their posts blocked and no engagement. No, everybody was posting about it all the time, right? We've all seen those posts, right? So that was the pandemic before the pandemic. So I was like, okay, I see what everybody's fussing about, and I already got these couple webinars under my belt. Let me really go hard. So I did like a 90-day run where I was literally on Facebook almost all day, like for about 3 months, probably about 10, 12 hours a day, just cleaning up my page, trial and error, implementing everything I learned, doing my own trial and error stuff. And then it just took off. And I made a post. I was in a group. I think it was the Black Business Owner Network group. And that group, it was a good group at the time. It was really highly engaged. It was like almost 100,000 people in there, and it was super engagement. They had a great admin team. And for whatever reason, they had some issues or whatever. It didn't work out. But I made a post in that group about, I think, what was the post? I think I said, oh yeah. So I had a mentor, I would call him a mentor from afar. He made a post on his page, and it was right on time, so I stole it and I put it in the group. So the post was, you can't get a good education, a good entrepreneur education by asking Facebook or something like that. I can't remember exactly the words was, but it was a trigger post, and I put it in that group. And I put it in that group for a reason, because that group, they would give out a lot of gems. They would let you give out a lot of gems, and everybody was used to getting free information. So nobody wanted to buy anything in that group. So I put that post in that group for a reason, because I knew it was going to trigger people. that post got like 500.
They put you out, didn't they?
Yeah, they didn't put me out. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I made the post, and the post got like 500 comments
and stuff,
in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So
they knew they needed direction.
Yeah, they needed it, right? But it's like, somebody got to be the bad guy, and I ain't never had a problem being that. So I knew it was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to go that viral that quick.
Like, crazy, right?
It went crazy. And the best thing that happened to me, like literally probably in my life and business, or one of the best, was that a guy in that group, his name is Darren Monroe, he saw my post. Not only did he didn't comment on the post, he dropped 3 video comments on the post, which I had never seen anybody do. Like, to this day, I still haven't seen anybody drop video comments. That was the first and last time I've ever seen that. I'm like, oh, who's this guy? And this view, he was like 100 floors up, high rise, and he was really dropping bombs. Like, man, look, I love what you said. I'm all for, free this and free that, but you definitely got to have, paid stuff and high tickets and everything too. So I'm like, man, he was really dropping some gems. So long story short, I didn't know who he was at the time, but I knew I liked what he was saying. And he actually went live in that group and did a LinkedIn training. And I was on his LinkedIn training. And after he did the LinkedIn training, I inboxed him. And he said, no. I inboxed him. And I can't remember what happened, but I think about a week or two later, this is when the pandemic hit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this was right before the pandemic. So he brought a program out that he had from years ago called Fast Cash Crisis. And he made an offer on a post. I was like, man, the offer is good. I really want to do it, but I really don't think I have time, because the day I made that post in that group, the next day, the Rules of Engagement Academy was born.
Oh.
So that's why I'm telling this whole story, because it's like, yeah, I had to tie it up in a bow a little bit. So long story short, Darren Monroe is actually one of the people responsible for making Jay-Z, Limp Bizkit, 50 Cent, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, anything you can think of.
Right.
He's one of the people that helped make them a household name.
Oh,
Because
he's the one in your video. He's the one in the welcome video.
Exactly. So he helped make all them household names because he was doing this back in the 90s. So his resume is, he did Hollywood, the music industry for like 10 years. And then about, I guess, 16 years ago now, he went online and started learning how to build websites and stuff and build his own brand. And nobody else on the planet has a resume like that, you know, that can say they've been doing this thing online for that long and having that type of resume in the background. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely rocking with this dude. So he became my mentor. I didn't even have to pay him. Like, pretty much taught me everything. Not everything he knew, but like probably about 95% of it.
Yeah, the gist of it, yeah.
Yeah, he pulled no punches. He gave me access to all his programs, like everything. So, and I'm just so grateful and thankful to have people like him in my life, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be on this call right now, probably, you know?
Right.
It was that post that I made that he commented on and gave me the inspiration to know that I was doing the right thing.
Right.
And next thing you know, the next day I opened up the Facebook group.
Right.
Yeah,
That's dope. That's dope.
yeah, I had to.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that was a lot of background, right?
Oh, man, you know.
That's fine, because I mean, it all added into what you're doing now. I mean, you blessed and fortunate that you were able to learn so much in prison, because I knew somebody in prison where they were in Florida, so they couldn't get resources and training to do anything outside of homemade tattoos. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I got kicked out of a black business group once before, so we right there. We right there together.
Wow.
So you know they're getting their feelings now.
Yeah, people get real sensitive on social media.
Oh man,
They do.
Real sensitive.
They
crazy.
do. So, as far as, did you always want to be an entrepreneur? Do you think you always had that in you?
Great question. So, looking back on it, yes, pretty much. From the age of, I think I made my first sale when I was like 8, and I was hooked. So, long story short, my father died when I was 3 months old. My grandfather, he pretty much took over the father figure role. He was over at the house every day for the most part. And you know, he's my mother's father. And then my father's mother on the other side, she was also an entrepreneur. Well, he was an entrepreneur. He had a lawn service. Never saw him, you know, cash a check that he didn't create, you know. And then my grandmother on my father's side, she was an entrepreneur as well. She did she had a daycare, so she pretty much raised us as well as the whole neighborhood. And she also taught piano lessons. And she did all kind of stuff, but I never saw her work a job.
Wow.
So that was my influence as a child. You know, both of them, I pretty much spent all my time with them. It was on one side or the other, you know, every day. So my grandfather took me, we had a pecan tree in the backyard, so we used to pick up pecans. And he took me to the place so we could go sell the pecans. That was my first hustle.
Wow.
Okay.
And it was on ever since. Yeah, so I mean, I used to literally, like when I was like 9 or 10, like I would do yard work with him. and I was probably making almost $100 a day, at that age.
Wow.
60, $80,
Well,
easy.
you was killing it at the corner store, huh?
Man, I was the man.
They was like, well, yo,
You got the
Mike.
biggest bag.
Now let it for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. You getting all later. You
You
get
know what I'm
limit
saying?
head.
Talking about.
Yeah, man. So,
That's dope.
yes, I had definitely heavy entrepreneur influence in my life. All my life.
Okay. That's good because
Yes.
everybody doesn't, especially in our generation. I know my grandmother had a store, but outside of that, none of her kids had their own. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So definitely we were taught to, go to school, get a job that you're going to keep for 30 years and keep it moving,
right, right,
So that's
right,
good.
right.
That's good.
Absolutely.
Why do you love being an entrepreneur? Or do you love being an entrepreneur? I would think you do.
Absolutely love it. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. As hard as it is,
Mhm.
as lonely as we get, as crazy as we seem or feel sometimes, I wouldn't change it for the world. I really wouldn't because I guess I didn't preface this. I guess I should preface this too. So I was always one of the best students also in school. Like I graduated high school with a double cord. I just got involved with the wrong crowd.
Mhm.
So I always knew that I had a seed of greatness in me. I knew I was going to be, I wouldn't necessarily say famous, but because it's not about the fame. I don't want the fame, but I knew I had greatness upon me, and that fame is just a byproduct,
Right.
you know?
Mhm.
So I had a real call in my life, ever since a child, I've known that I had a call in my life. And, it took me about 40 years to really figure it out. But that's not, I guess you could say that's normal. I hear a lot of people's stories are pretty similar to that. So not to compare myself, but yeah.
Right, right. Oh no, I totally understand it because it's like I woke up overnight and it's like, wow, I had to really wait till after 40 to figure this out.
Oh
Right,
yeah.
right,
Right.
right. Yeah, that's
I
life.
totally get it. But yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean, put it this way, you learn more in prison than somebody outside of prison. Like that was a
They still don't
setup,
know.
you know what I'm saying?
They still don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you
That's
learned it
crazy.
all. Like really, you like one of the
Yeah.
dudes that came out with a master's, you know.
Yeah, I
So
really
that's
did.
what you
Like I
had a call. That's
literally,
you know.
absolutely. I mean, like anybody who's locked up with me, they'll tell you if they didn't see me uh out there in the rec field working out, they saw me on my bunk with a book.
Right.
Like I was always with a book. And if it wasn't a book, it was some literature. If it wasn't some literature, it was a magazine. Whatever. I was always reading.
Right.
Always reading.
Yeah, you got it in you. Well,
Yeah.
what do you know now that you wish you knew then when you got into entrepreneurship?
That my family and friends would not support me until they saw me on TV. Say, hey, that's my
Wow.
so and so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought like, especially when I first found MLM, like I was in a company, it was called Wake Up Now. And that was when everybody was talking about, being woke, like around 2014. That's when it really got everybody was so-called woke or whatever, right? So I was going through my woke phase, and I found this company. Like, the way I found that company, it was crazy because this was on my old profile on Facebook, or one of my old profiles. So I saw this chick. Well, excuse my language. I saw this girl, lady. I'm just
Mhm.
talking. So she was posting like so much positive content. I'm like, man, she always got some gems. And I
Mhm.
just told me to click on her page, and I clicked on the page and saw the cover photo, and it was like one of those cheesy MLM type photo. It was like a beach
Yeah.
in the background, and the sun would wake up now, like, wake up now. Yeah, I'm woke. I like that.
Yeah.
So that's what resonated with me. Long story short, I started doing a lot of research on her and started seeing people, she was connected with, and everybody was talking about wake up now, wake up now, wake up now.
Mm.
So I was like, hey, let me just figure out what this is. So I hit her up, and then that's what it was. It was the MLM, but it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I don't even know how I got there, but we just chopping it up right now, I guess. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
That was
But I
beautiful.
mean, it's all about how you develop your connections and stuff. So I mean, certain experiences bring you to where you are now. So it's part of it. We
Yeah,
just rolling, like you say.
yeah,
We keep
yeah, yeah.
growth.
Right. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. So that's how I got into the online space. Well, actually, to be honest, my first time online business was actually 2010. I had uh I had an episode, and I had to have some mental evaluations. So when I got back, I ended up in a relationship with this girl I was messing with before, and she had got into making jewelry. Like, you remember that gold beaded jewelry the girls was wearing
Yeah,
about 10
Yeah,
years ago?
yeah, yeah.
She used to make that with the fishing line and all. She
right.
taught me how.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so she taught me how to make the jewelry. Me, her, and her daughter would sit there and make jewelry. We go to the flea market and sell it. So we were actually doing about $2,000 a week,
Wow.
like offline.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. On a bad week, maybe 1,500. We did pretty good. So we go to the flea market every weekend. And then she was the one who actually made me create a Facebook page. That's why I was getting that. So that's the
Mhm.
only reason I even got on Facebook was because of her. And I started putting the jewelry on there. And next thing you know,
Well,
life started happening. And
yeah.
that's when I went to jail and came back out and all that stuff. But yeah, go ahead.
No,
No,
I'm just saying.
oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, man. That's how you get. That's part of it, and that's how you start blowing up and kind of moving around, doing different things. So that's really
Hmm.
cool. And plus, if you notice, like all of your situations, they're all entrepreneurially connected, right?
Yeah, right.
So it's
Yeah,
like, even though if it didn't work out in that one space, you still learn something from it to take it to the next thing that you got into. So you
exactly.
kept building and building and building. So that's dope, man. That's definitely dope.
That
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, it was great insights.
Yeah, it is. It all did kind of work out together. It's funny when we go through it, we don't see it. But yeah,
Let me see
and
it.
then you were talking about family and friends supporting. I think sometimes we do that to ourselves because I know for myself, especially with the MLMs, I did quite a few MLMs, and they all tell you hit up your friends and family. So now that
Yeah,
I'm really doing something that's really successful, it's like, oh, okay,
Uh,
whatever. So I don't get the
yeah, yeah.
support that I did
Right.
because I used all up my support tickets from the
Yeah,
MLM.
yeah. Make a list of 100.
yeah,
Yeah, we all went for that.
Right. I think I was in like
yeah.
5 different MLMs. It's just like, and
Uh,
I got to the point where I didn't want to hit up my family and friends, but it's just like, how do you, other than
Who else do I
cold
talk to?
calling?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now
Well,
my family rolls their eyes.
oh, another one.
Right,
yeah,
What you got going on now? What's your little
yeah,
business?
yeah, yeah.
How your
What you
little
want
business
now?
doing?
right,
Yeah,
right.
what
Your
you
little
want now?
business.
Yeah.
Your little business.
So
I love
what
that. Go
as
ahead.
far as entrepreneurship, what's the worst thing that's happened to you as far as entrepreneurship, and how did you bounce back? So I know prison might be a part of that, but is there anything else that set you back?
Oh, absolutely. Great question. I mentioned it a little bit earlier too, but I guess we can get into some details now. So last, excuse me, last year, almost around this time is when the partnership that I was speaking of earlier in the crypto business,
Hmm.
this is when that failed. And I'm not looking to blame anybody. I always try to, I always strive to look and see where I was wrong first before I try to point fingers. So I'm not perfect. I know it could have been a whole lot better. Um, with that being said, I learned that everybody who you meet online that you think is your friend really may not be. And it really
That's a
crushed
whole
me
nother
because,
episode.
yeah, yeah, we might have to come back for part two. So, yeah, it really crushed me because it was a business I created. Like, I created the name. I introduced them to each other. They wouldn't even know each other if it wasn't for me. Like right now, to this day. Um, so and they they pretty much they pulled the Steve Jobs on me. Like they kicked me out of my own group.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, like I'm the Black Steve Jobs. So,
Oh,
but anyway, at the time, and it really it knocked me in, it knocked me down for like 3 months. Like I was very depressed. I'm already was already fighting depression because I didn't mention this earlier. When I came home from prison, I made and lost my first and only born son, and in the same day he didn't make it. So I've been fighting depression for like 5 years,
Wow.
right? So, with that said, that really took me back into that dark space because when you create a business and lose it for whatever reason, it's kind of like losing a family member. It's like, so you gotta grieve and all that stuff. So I was really down in the dumps for like 3 months. And what happened was my new business partner, Mr. Lockhart, Ken Lockhart, he reached out to me, saw my profile, saw me talking about this crypto and all this stuff. And, he basically did what he does, what we call moving the needle. That's a whole nother call. We'll talk about that later. So he basically hit me up, was like, have you ever heard of Bitcoin Campus? I'm like, nah. And he sent me a flyer or something. I can't remember exactly how it went, but I checked out the information. I'm like, wow, he's really put together something that we were trying to create, and it's a whole lot better because it's a website. The system pretty much is automated, and the way it's set up, I don't have to be trying to teach class every day. I don't have to be on calls trying to sign people up for a $500 mastermind that they're not going to sign up for every day. It just really made my life a whole lot easier. The price point's a lot lower, but at the same time, it's a lot easier to bring people into that, especially right now with everybody trying to figure out what's going on with crypto. So just being able to be ahead of that because of, being locked up in prison with somebody who knew about it. It's like, you can't make this stuff up, So everything happens for a reason. At the end of the day, I'm not mad at them. I still love them. I have no hard feelings towards them because this is my path to get to where I'm going. And they're just a part of that story. And I have to realize that and remove the emotions from that. So it's all love. I wish them nothing but the best, But yeah, that was a hard lesson for me to learn.
yeah.
Definitely. And now you have a new title with that. What's your new title?
Yes, great question. So after that happened, I saw the opportunity. I'm like, look, he's really doing some things. I like what he got going on. So I enrolled as a student like everybody else. And about 2 months ago, maybe 2 months ago, I was promoted to the chief marketing officer.
Yeah.
So now that's my new baby. So now that's why I need your guys to help me with my baby because I got a new baby.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really dope, being I mean, titles, I'm not the biggest on titles, but I know that that they affect how people look at you. So it's a blessing for me, especially with my background. Like I can't go get a job, if I wanted to, if I needed to. You know what I mean? Unless I went back to the barbershop. Another thing I forgot to mention, I used to work in the barbershop too. Another story. Started cutting hair when I was 12. I went to barber school when I was like 19. I was working in the barbershop by the time I was 19.
Wow.
I did that for like 5 years and just got burned out. And I felt like I was not being valued. So your conversation earlier about the hairdresser kind of took me back a little bit because yes, there are some definitely some finicky personalities in the industry, but I learned a lot as a barber, and I learned that this is one of the biggest things I learned when I was a barber, that I was, and this is no disrespect to barbers because I love the industry, the culture, everything about it, but I learned that I was more valuable than just somebody cutting somebody's hair. Because people was coming and sitting in my chair to get life advice from a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, you know what I'm saying? So after 4 years of that and seeing my people in the street getting all this money, and I was already kind of halfway in, I'm like, that's when I started making those bad choices and got myself into trouble for the first time. But I just brought that up, to kind of tie it up in the bow again. I'll get off track a little bit, so don't feel bad to bring me back, in anytime.
It's all right because, like you said, it all adds to it. And it goes to show you've been an entrepreneur for a long time. Really have.
Long time. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Long time. Lifelong, pretty much. Yeah.
But
And
now
now
you're seeing the fruit of your labor, I think.
yeah, it's because because I had mentors like Dan Monroe and my other mentor, Mr. Azik Ali. I feel like I have the two best mentors in the world. Like I just told you, about Mr. Monroe and his resume,
Mhm.
and then my other mentor, Azik Ali. He's actually Les Brown's personal mentee right now. Like
Oh wow.
Les Brown, when he moved to Atlanta, my mentor was his driver. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And because he changed his life, like he's up like I don't know how many millions he's up right now, but just having people like that is really what got me where I'm at because it didn't come from formal education. I actually did go to school for marketing. After I started working at a barbershop, I did marketing uh, at a technical college, but I quit my last semester because they wasn't teaching me what I needed to know.
Right.
And so that's how another part of how I ended up where I'm at now.
Right. Right. So
Because my story is all over the place.
right. But you brought up an interesting point about having mentors. Do you think that
Yeah,
is a very important thing for entrepreneurs to have? And how would you recommend they get a mentor?
great question. I believe it's the only way, not the only way. I think it's the best way to get where you're trying to go because if you get the right one, what they're going to do is collapse time frames for you. So what you could learn on your own or learn, from a book or whatever, you can learn that in, a fraction of the time
Yeah, quicker.
with the
Yeah.
right mentor
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
or
Right.
coach. So I believe in mentorship, coaching, advisors, 1000%, counselor, whatever you want to call it. Like it's all the same thing to me. Um, People that have been where you're trying to go know what you don't know. Yeah, it's definitely well, well needed, well deserved. And I believe the best way to actually go about go about finding one is to ask yourself first, what do I want? Where am I trying to go?
Okay.
And then you look around and see who's doing that and who's got people that have actually who lives they've helped change. So they got the results.
Right.
They say you know a tree by you know a tree by its fruit.
Right.
So
Right.
I want to see the fruits. If I see the fruit, I don't necessarily need to see you, in a Lambo or whatever. Like if
The
I
big
know that
house. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
just me personally.
Right.
Yeah.
That stuff don't really mean nothing to me. Like when I was in the street, I did, like not to glorify it, but I know I had a 2-year run where I was doing like $1 million a year, but I
Right.
didn't know how to keep it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's nothing to me about the money.
Money.
It's
Yeah.
all about
Yeah.
what you're gonna do with it, and the freedom that it provides, the legacy you can leave behind. That's what it's about for me.
Yeah.
Do you think they should approach the mentor or should a mentor approach them?
That's a good question. I think you know what. To be honest with you, the way I got both of mine was organic.
Okay.
So I think that might be the best, depending on the personality type. Maybe that's a great question. I wasn't really prepared to answer that one, but that's a great question. I got both of mine like organically, So
Mhm. And
yeah,
that's good
that's
though.
a good
That's
one.
I think that works because I've had one mentor and I thought we were a good match because he was in my industry, but he ended up being one of the reasons why I got kicked out of that group. So that
Mm,
was a good
wow.
call. Um,
Yeah.
but recently, as of last year, I had another mentor. I went through, there's a site, Micro Mentor, where they help pair you up with mentors. And I have somebody, but I kind of lost track with her. So I'm like, I don't know. We didn't exchange personal information, so I kind of feel awkward hitting her up personally, and I can't get
Right.
her on the business side. But I also feel
Yeah.
like I need to find somebody else, but I haven't. I don't think it's been the time right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. I really don't know if I have the right answer for you
Yeah.
on that, but that's definitely uh, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the word. It's a very nuanced situation, I guess you could say. I
Yes.
don't know exactly how I would handle that one off the top of my
Um,
head.
Well, I know
Hmm.
I will say for some people, as far as the coaches, be careful who you give your money to, because some people
Oh
call
my God.
themselves coach.
Yeah. Very, very careful.
Yeah,
Be
that's
very,
another
very careful.
episode.
Like you said, another episode. Yeah. What is a real coach? Right.
Right, right,
So yeah, and that's again, like I said a few minutes ago. Just look for the fruit. You know a tree by its fruit.
right,
So if somebody's out here, saying that they're doing this and doing that, or can help you do this and do that, just tell them to show you. You know what I mean? Let me see some proof.
right, right,
If you can't prove it,
right.
then I'm not going to pay you, but I'll give you some time, or maybe if I have time, I could sit down and listen to you or whatever. But yeah,
Well, then, and also go deeper than the receipts, because I noticed, especially on Facebook, people love showing receipts of their bank account and this, that, and the other.
oh
And
my God,
it takes a little bit more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
you said,
yeah, yeah,
retention and how do you keep the money, you know?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So as far as the receipts, like I'm not big on posting like bank account stuff like that. You'll see me like if I'm launching something, okay, I might do it once just so you can see that okay, such and such got paid, so this stuff actually works.
Right.
But you're not gonna see me with my bank account statement. Oh, I did forty
Yeah,
thousand this
flexing
month.
like
I'm gonna
that.
take it out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
That's
flexing
kind of
like that.
cheesy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's kind of
yeah,
cheesy personally.
yeah. And
Because
plus, you just don't want to do that. You know,
yeah, I'm from the street. Like, you know what I mean? I still got a
that's
little street in me.
that's not
You know
smart.
that part.
Yeah,
No,
Like,
that's not
and
smart.
you
You know.
don't
I got
understand
interviewed
it.
the other
A
perfect
lady
perfect
got killed.
example.
A lady got
Yeah,
killed over that because
yeah,
she did
all the
that.
time. Like, and now, like, even and back to the crypto conversation, there's a young crypto influencer. He was like 19, I think, in South America or something like that, and he was stunting on Instagram. They killed him.
Wow. Wow. That's
Yeah, so I
crazy.
ain't with all that. Oh, my bank account got this and no. I might show you a sale I made or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah,
But
you got to
nah,
go to
we
the
ain't
gas
doing
station
that.
eventually one day.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So you told us the worst thing, but what's the best thing that's happened so far in your entrepreneurial journey
Oh man, it's got to be what's going on right now.
right
I
now?
mean, I hate to be a prisoner of the moment, but you kind of know what I'm talking about
Mhm.
because I mean, it's crazy how me and you got so close so quick. Like, I feel like I've known you a lot longer already. We only know each other a couple months, but you just coming into the group and basically showing and proving who you are, what you're about. Being professional. That's what I always envisioned when I started the group. So I did. I said, I didn't. I don't necessarily want the credit for the group. Like it's not about, oh, this is my group. Nah, it's about me being somebody who learns some things that you may not know that I can help you.
Mhm.
And we can all help each other and benefit in the end. That's just the type of person who I am.
Mhm.
I think I forgot the question. What was that question?
The best thing that happened to you so far.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's got to be what's going on with the group now. I hate to be a prisoner of the moment,
Yeah.
but going through everything I went through, like the stuff we already talked about earlier, all the ups and downs I had, just to see, like last week, I got a call. So I'll go back a little bit. Last year, the day before, no, matter of fact, hold up. Yeah, the day before the outage, the day before the quote unquote outage, Facebook and Instagram went down.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, that was
A
crazy.
lot of people probably forgot this, but that Sunday, the whistleblower was on 60 Minutes
Oh,
telling them,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
That was the day before the outage,
wow.
right? And that same day was when my profile got shut down. Now, I'm not going to say, well,
It's
it was
coincidence.
well, I know those algorithms. They had some certain things with the algorithms, and certain people's accounts were getting knocked off like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, so I'm trying to remember how I was going to tie this in. I know the question was the best thing to happen. See, I tell you, I get sidetracked a little bit when I get these conversations. It's so good. It's
Hey,
like just
hey,
start flowing.
take your time, man. Take your
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm trying to think where I was going with that. Damn, I had a good one too.
Did you connect with somebody around that time during
Yeah,
the
I'm trying to think where I was going. Okay, so oh yeah. Okay, so when my profile got shut down, like everybody from that was inside the group had no idea. I had to make a new profile. Well, I had a backup profile that I started using. So when I got back into it, long story short, I went through the rigmarole with Facebook, and it was crazy. They were sending me emails saying that it was going to be like a 8-digit code, and I get the email and it's a 6-digit code. Like they was giving me all kinds of run around. I was like, man, y'all got all the sense. I ain't fooling with you. So whatever happened, my new account, I can't remember what happened, but they put me on restriction for like 2 days or whatever. So when I went to I said, you know what? I'm just going to delete the app for a couple of days, put it back on. So when I went to go do that, it was trying to let me get in my old account. I was like, what? Now, last time I checked, this thing didn't even exist no more. Like, literally, I couldn't even tag it. People couldn't find it. It was like it was missing.
Right.
I was like, wow, okay, so let me see if I can get back in it. I thought of the password, boom, get me back in it. So I'm like, oh, wow, Eureka. So I got back in the account. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I still haven't posted on the account, on the page. But what I did was started posting inside the group. So now I got 2 accounts inside the group, which is really another nugget. I think I'm about to start teaching that because I see the results is definitely working. But what I was getting at is when I got back in the old account, one of my old, I think she wasn't an admin, but she was one of like the first people to take my training. She saw my post from the old account inside the group, and she had just got back active on Facebook too. She hadn't been on Facebook in months. So she saw the post, commented on the post. I hit her up. Next thing I know, we're on the phone. And she got all kind of ideas like, yeah, we need to do this. So the next day, I go back in the account, and that's when I see the message from Lim, another connection that I had. He's really, really good with groups, Facebook groups. He took his group from like 0 to 50,000 very, very fast. Right. I mean, he did it almost as fast as the Done is Better Than Perfect group, Coach Harper, right? Right. So like very similar. So I knew this guy was really good at what he does. So I got back in the account the other day, saw the message from him. So me and him ended up on a call the next day after I get on the call with her. So he's like, let's go ahead and take the group to 10,000 like next month. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do it. So yeah, I mean, I hate to sound like a prisoner of the moment, but right now it's got to be what's going on right now is probably the best because what I envisioned 2 years ago is actually manifesting right now in real time. Right. Like we got like how many people in the admin chat? Like 9, 10 in there. Right. And everybody's bosses doing their thing, doing different stuff, but really excited about helping the group grow, using the group to help themselves. You know what I mean? Right. So it's a real win. What's going on? What we're doing there now? That group is really gonna really be lit. Right. Really soon.
I don't feel any egos. That's in the admin and also in the group itself. I don't feel any egos. And some of us, our skills overlap, but nobody comes with, well, I know this better or no, right. You said this incorrect. Nothing like that. We just add gems on top of gems on top of gems.
That's it.
And I like that.
That's it. Yeah, it's organic, natural. Like you said, everybody's just adding value. Mm-hmm. No competition vibe. Like I'm not with that. I'm not gonna put up with it. And like I said, I'm not about having the credit for the academy. Like I didn't create it for me. I created it for everybody else. Right. I just want to make sure that I benefit and everybody else can too. Right. So it's all like right now is like what I thought of a couple years ago after I made that post in that other group and the group was born. This is what I envision, and it's actually happening right now. So tomorrow is going to be really exciting when we open up enrollment for the first time with the relaunch. I'm excited. Just got to ever get the site back up, but I ain't even worried about the site. Like the group is going to take care of everything for right now. Awesome. I mean, I know how to close them without a sales page. Like I know some right. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you up the side of the head with so much value. You ain't even worried about a sales page.
Well, hey,
you like set up and take my money.
Look, hey, I'm a spokesperson. I only been doing it for 17 days.
Right, and you already making money.
And I've been invited. Facebook has invited me to not one but 2 different programs. So
yeah, so it's working.
It's working. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm excited for you, Queen. Like I don't know why we cross paths, but I just see greatness, for everybody that's around me right now, and it's exciting.
Very exciting. I appreciate it. Well, do you have Any story on the craziest thing that's happened to you as an entrepreneur?
Craziest thing as an entrepreneur. The craziest thing that happened to me as an
Like
entrepreneur.
a
I'll probably
wild
really.
story.
I think I got a lot of crazy stories, but as an entrepreneur, I can't really pull one off the top of the head. I wish I'd had a little more prep time. I probably could have, dug it. It's all good, but what we'll do, I'll definitely be coming back for part two,
All right.
and we'll talk about that one on part two.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't want to
Yeah,
do the questions because I wanted it to be more conversational.
yeah. I'm cool with that too. I'm cool with that. No problem. I like it like that.
Awesome. Well, the last
Yeah.
thing I have is, what's one piece of advice would you give to a new entrepreneur?
One piece of advice that I would give an entrepreneur, and we talked about it already. Um, mentorship. Mentorship. And when I say mentorship, a lot of people get it. I'm not gonna say get it twisted. Like there's a lot of different connotations to the word mentor or coach. Some people say, well, mentors, they don't get paid. I don't necessarily agree with that. And I think you can actually coach people for free if you want to. I mean, like I don't subscribe to boxes. Right? You don't have to be, in a box. Like I hate boxes. Right? I was in a box for too long,
Right.
so I don't like boxes. I've always been, the one that make people try to think a little bit differently. So the mentorship, I think, is the biggest thing, though. You got to find somebody who's doing what you want to do, been where you trying to go, and has the fruits to prove it. And not only the fruit, the community that's backing them, as well as like a genuine community. Like, I was a part of a program. I didn't notice at the time, but there was this, I'm not even gonna call her name as bad as I want to. She is.
Man, go ahead.
He told me, go ahead.
We're family. Go ahead.
He might get you in trouble.
Put them on blast.
Look,
Go ahead,
I'm gonna
Daddy.
tell you, but we're gonna talk about it off the record. I'll put it like that. I don't mind telling you.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that.
Yeah, I'll do it that way.
Just give us
I'll
some
see your
initials.
screenshots and all.
Yeah, just give us some initials and we'll go ahead.
I'll put it like this, just for the people out there who might got a clue. Yeah, the initials are DB. We'll talk about it later.
All right, we'll talk about it later. Okay.
But anyway, she I come to find out that she pretty much is a scam artist, right?
Wow.
But what she did, she's helped a lot of people. And what happens is she got a crew that no matter what she gets in, she got her little crew that's gonna give her testimonials. So you gotta watch out for people like that. Because I found out the hard way that wasn't their first go around doing the same thing.
Right.
And to this day, she owed me like $1,700. Like my first $1,700 commission, I didn't get it. You know what I mean? I got one of them, didn't ever get the second one. Try to get me to run around. Next thing you know, program gone. She's doing something else. Like, okay, I didn't want to believe it. They tried to tell me she was a scam artist. I didn't want to believe it. I learned the hard way.
Right.
So when it comes to coaches and mentors, what I'm getting at is this: don't just look at the shallow. You got to dive deep. Look deep before you leap.
Right.
Especially when you're talking about making a $1,000 investment, 10,000, whatever it is. That's definitely what I would have to lead the people with for sure.
I like that. I'm gonna quote that. Look deep before you leap. That's a line right there.
That is. That's a bar. Somebody caught that. Say it louder for the people in the back. Yeah, look deep before you leap.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, good.
Well,
Absolutely.
I appreciate you coming on. Castor Troy, did you have any questions that I missed?
No, man, we pretty much covered all the bases. I can't wait for part two, though.
Yeah, he want to know who that scam artist is.
Yeah, we gotta pull up and get that 17. We gotta pull up and get that.
Get my goons on deck.
That's right.
I still got shooters now.
That's what I'm saying. We ain't even nothing on the table.
Yeah, man. I'm definitely excited, man. I appreciate y'all for having me. It was a blast. I really enjoyed the conversation. I like how y'all do it. Like, just like you said, keep it conversational, kind of back and forth. Definitely. Loved it.
Absolutely. And you were our first guest.
I saw that. Like, I feel so
Yeah.
special. I really do. I really, really do. Like, and I just did an interview the other day, so like I'm on the road right now. I know you saw my post earlier, right?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later because I'm gonna show you who that was too.
See?
Yeah, I
But that's
appreciate
like
you
I
for not
told
standing me
you,
up.
alignment. It's been alignment, man. And
Absolutely,
it was like
absolutely, perfect.
I've been said I wanted to do a podcast and I knew what I wanted to do it about. And it's just like you just fell into my lap. Then David fell into the lap. And it's just like because I didn't want to do it by myself. I'm past
Right,
the point of trying to do everything myself,
right, right.
you
Yeah,
know?
well, you definitely doing it, Queen. Like, I commend you because I felt you. I feel you on that. Like me and my best friend, we always talked about it too. And I felt the same way. Like I didn't want to do it by myself because it's really not my thing. Like I'm not passionate about it, but it's something that I really want to do.
Okay.
But I didn't want to do it by myself. So just to be able, like you said, to have the alignment, that's such a blessing for everything to line up for you like that right now.
Right, right, right. And then, I got the same thing as you. You get people around you that talk a good game, but they really in it for themselves. I posted one time about
Hmm.
the subscription box. Somebody asked me how they could get in. Not how could they promote it and be a supporter, but how they could get in. You
Right,
know what I'm saying? People always looking
right,
for
right.
their way in. So
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So you got to be on the lookout for that for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we
Oh man, appreciate it.
we are almost to an hour. So we can go
Nice.
ahead and go, and then like you could get in the inbox and tell us who you was talking about.
Yeah, I got you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna see screenshots and all. I got
Right.
you.
But thank you so much. And you said tomorrow is the open enrollment. So
Yes.
tomorrow is the first. I'm hoping to have this edited. So once they watch this, listen to this, they can go to the group, sign up for the
Yes.
group and get enrolled. And I'm telling you,
Absolutely.
it works.
Man, listen. If you don't do nothing but the $7 funnel club, do something because it's like she said, it works. You know what I mean? It's gonna pay you back tenfold easily.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well,
I
thank you
appreciate you.
again. And you have a good
Likewise.
day.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. I'm loving what y'all doing here. I love the vibe. I love it. I appreciate it.
Thank
No
you.
doubt. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
I'll
you.
talk to y'all soon.
All
Part
right.
two coming
Part
soon.
two.
Part
Yeah.
two.
Let's get it.